All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the first panel discussion that we are going to have here. Our first panel is all about the future of food, how technology and science are redefining the food safety. So let me take the pleasure to invite our panelists for the session on the stage. We have Mr. Prawin Arohi. He's a GM Manufacturing DS Group. Let's give him a big round of applause, everyone. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. Moving on, let's have Mr. Sanjay Kumar, GM Factory Operations, Mrs. Baxter's Food Specialities. Heartiest welcome. Can we have a big round of applause for sir? Requesting Mr. Naveen Gupta, Head Factory, Zydus Wellness. Huge round of applause. May I now take the pleasure of inviting Mr. Kumar Tarun, Director, Quality, R&D and Regulatory, Bisleri International. Everybody, we can applaud more louder. Next we have in the panel Mr. Sridharan, Director, Manufacturing, Operations and Capabilities, Coca-Cola, India. Heartiest welcome. Moving on, let's have Mr. Amol P. Peshativar, AVP QRC, India and APAC, the Hershey Company. Heartiest welcome, sir. Next we have Dr. Rashida Vapiwala, founder of Label Blind. Big round of applause. Heartiest welcome. Can we have one more chair, please, on the stage for the moderator? Now it's time to invite our moderator for our first panel discussion. We have Mr. Pratap Swain, Global Head, R&D, Parle Biscuits. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. I would now like to request our moderator to please take the session forward, sir.
Hello. Hello, am I audible? So, good morning, everyone. It's good to see good stock of food industries under one roof. So before I start, it's a great honor and privilege to moderate such a distinguished panelist for this panel discussion. So before I start, I'll request all our panelists, because they are veterans in their own field, so they should give a brief introduction about their achievements, about their career and expertise. Please, maybe Mr. Amul, you can start.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see a lot of people from a different food industry over here. My name is Amol Peshatiwar. I'm Associate Vice President for the Hershey Company. I manage India and APAC business for them. Working food industry from last 20 plus years. Spent my entire career in quality and food safety and regulatory compliance. I started my journey with Coca-Cola, then worked with Mondelez, and Hershey is my third company. Basically a chemical engineer, started liking food, so I did my master's in food technology, and based out of Mumbai, and happy to connect you with all of you today for any discussion or any networking. Thanks a lot.
Good morning, everyone. I'm someone who has spent about more than 2 decades for making sure that whatever reaches people are efficient, compliant, and safe, so that probably there won't be any reason for a recall, complaint, or next day morning headache. So my career has taken me through various industries, starting from automobile, beverages, and alcohol beverages. So basically, I have worked with and delivered to the consumers that machines that move people and beverages that move discussions. So I worked in various functions, basically quality, engineering, production, and all that. Uh, that's why, like, so whatever you feel you face in the factory floor in terms of problems, probably I would have seen it, fixed it, and did some kind of a digitization on that, standardization on that, and created a dashboard so that it won't repeat again, right? And what fascinates me today in this discussion is like the way the AI is going to take over for the food safety. It's not going to be a straight line kind of a thing. So it's going to be a network of things going to come together and all that. So very happy to have a discussion with you people on understanding and how do we go about using this technology for our day-to-day problem solvings and use and all that. Thank you.
Thanks, TKJ. Good morning, everyone. So it's not a good morning. So my name is Kumar Tarun. I head quality R&D and regulatory for Bisleri, working from last 2 decades in food industry, in basically in very different kind of manufacturing platforms, from beverage to solid foods like snacks and beer. So, and now in water and beverages again. So, in this overall 2 decades, my understanding and learning, which I want to share with you today about the automation, IoT, which has really helped us moving the platform from a company which is having multiple customer complaints, multiple dissonance from the sales and the sales partnership like distributors, right? To how to make the system agile, we can't make it defect free, but yes, to a satisfactory level, just to ensure that business moves on and discussion, a lot of discussion which takes your time can be avoided between the partners. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Again, Tarun, same like you, not much a good morning. Good morning. Thank you. So my name is Naveen Gupta. I'm representing Zydus Wellness here. So I'm unit head for the Zydus Wellness Aligarh factory. Uh, Professionally, I'm a BTech in food technology. Food manufacturing is the passion which I lived with since last 27 years now in the food manufacturing. Worked across various capacities in various countries globally, and now back to India. So looking forward to learning, of course, through this various distinguished guests, and of course sharing the thoughts with you whatsoever so far I have learned in food manufacturing. Looking forward. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So this is Sanjay Kumar. I am BTech in food technology, and along with the specialization in business excellence from IIM Lucknow. So total 26 experience in FMCG category. I started my career from the Parle, then moved to ITC, Sunfish brand, then Britannia and Anmol. Now I am as a GM operations in Cremica. If you heard Cremica biscuit and English oven bread. So I am working in Greater Noida. So because in this food sector, 1999 I am working here. So I have seen a lot of challenges, resolutions about the food safety. Earlier we talked about food safety minimization, minimal. Now we are talking about the elimination. So how we get the elimination method and give the safe product to our consumer. So we have reached that type of the mode as of now. So if anyone have query about that, we will discuss with the panel group discussion. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Prawin Arohi, working as a GM manufacturing at DS Group. I have totally 20 years of experience. Worked with the Mother Dairy, Heritage Foods, Hudson Agro. So basically, I am dairy technologist. So worked in a manufacturing and operation segments. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Rashida Vapiwala, and I'm the founder at Label Blind. Our work is in the space of digitizing food regulatory compliances. And I've done my PhD in food labeling. I come from the food regulatory background with 15 years of experience in the same space. I'm happy to speak to all of you today. Good day.
Hi, my name is Pratap Swen. I'm a food engineer from IIT Kharagpur. Around 18 years experience in food processing industry. Currently, I'm with Parle Biscuits as head of R&D. Before that, I was part of Balaji Wafers and Bugler India Private Limited. For me, it's an interesting journey because, as I said, I'm a food engineer and I spent almost 7 years with Bugler. So it's for me, it's from technology to process. So that really helps me to develop products and in FMCG, knowing the process and the technology as well as the recipe. So thank you very much. Yeah. So now we are ready for the panel discussion. So with all your permission, so let us start the discussion. Yeah. So, and my first question is to Mr. Sridharan. Yeah, our food supply chain has become more connected and complex than before. How has this changed the meaning of food safety, and why is simply detecting problems no longer enough to protect consumers?
Let us make it a little more interactive. How many of you had morning tea today? Good. How many of you made the tea by yourself? Okay, very few. Okay. So once you go back your home tomorrow, assume that you are going into your kitchen and it's a Saturday morning, so you want to have a tea. Went to your kitchen, open the fridge and taken the milk and you boil it and you found that it's spoiled, right? What do? Take another packet if it is available. Otherwise, you'll just go to any quick commerce app and order a milk packet, which will reach you in, say, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes nowadays, at least in the metros, right? So earlier, that was not the case. So the milkman used to come and deliver the milk on your doorstep every day. And it was a very simple logic. You go to Mandi for getting vegetables. The milkman come and delivers milk directly from his home to you. And all the other things, whichever you are getting at your home, was not having much of complex supply chain as a whole. But now think of the conditions now. You had a milk which got processed, which got actually produced somewhere in the farms of Gujarat. Then it traveled to the local centers where it gets collected. Then it gets processed, packed, and transported towards various states, and then come back and reaches to your fridge, right? The complexity now has increased. Somewhere in the world, some chicken neck is getting blocked. You are getting the chicken tandoori prices increases in India, right? So it's going to be very, very different from the earlier situation and now. So we cannot, just like that, the way we were handling the food safety, will not be able to do that. It's a very complex system. We need to have a system which can actually, doesn't work like a CCTV, where you found a problem, then you go back, analyze what happened, and then take actions towards that. We have to be really going to a level of ATCs, where you have to be seeing the real-time quick response and take actions immediately instead of getting the problem to reach, because by the time you realize the problem is reached, it would have reached to millions of consumers, right? So that's the kind of era we are here, and the complexity is increasing. The materials which you are there in your fridge is coming from different parts of world, and that's how it's more and more huge problem in a way to tackle if there are any problems and all that, right? So we need to really see like how the new technologies are going to help in terms of fixing these things and how we can make use of these technologies to make our life easier so that the consumers are getting benefited and all that. If you see the scale at which the problems, nearly about 1/10 of the population are getting impacted every year because of food related issues and all that. And of course, the death rate is almost about 4.25 to 5 lakhs, and of which most of the time it's like kids, right? So we need to really see how we can tackle this issue. And in terms of economy also, even in the overall developing countries, India is having almost about 15% of the overall loss what we are getting here. So we are in a very good stage where all the technologies are coming together. We need to work together and see like how we can make use of this technology to make sure the consumers are getting good quality products and all that. Thanks, Pratap.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sridharan. Thank you very much, bringing some practical aspect to your answer while answering the questions. That is the need of the hour, so thank you very much. Okay, the next question is for Mr. Sanjay. What are the most effective ways to ensure food safety compliance at the vendor level?
Actually, we are accountable to give the safe product for consumer. And to make the any finished good or final product, we require lot of ingredients in terms of the raw materials, in terms of the packing materials. So we have to ensure that to supply safe product to consumer, it is our responsibility and accountability to get the right material, right quality material from our vendors. So there is a process, first of all, to make the approved vendor. Second thing is that they also provide certificates analysis, we say COA, but that is the documentation part. So it is our task that how our vendor is performing to meet legal compliances and food safe. So we have different methodology, audit, surprise audits, how they are system, food mock recall, and what they are getting the audit score. Because as of now, a lot of agencies, they are conducting independently audit. And as a principal employer, we hire that agency like NSF, BSI, DNB. So we do the external audit for vendors so that a right thing can come. Because when we purchase any material, we accept any material, this is the sampling process. And sampling process means not we are assuring 100% compliance. So this is the sampling process, we are extracting the material, but behind of that, we have to work regular audit, regular frequency visit, and as well as, because now we are talking about the lot of automation, upgradation of the system. So exchanging our thought and our requirement or our demand to our voice to reach this vendor. So regular meeting with them, and if any rejection, if any non-compliances, that any consignment lot, so regularly updated to vendor. So these are all process other than sampling COA we can conduct to get the right product, because we are customer for our vendor, but we have to product to our consumer. So there is difference between customer and consumer. Consumer means who will consume our product. Customer is who will purchase the material. So there is difference. So we are more accountable than our vendor to give the safe product.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay, for addressing the root cause behind the quality complaints. So I feel we should take proactive approach. Instead of just waiting for a market complaints. So we should start from the vendor level so that we can address all these market complaints or the quality complaints. Okay, the next questions for Ms. Rasida. How can AI help food companies build a comprehensive compliance framework across every stage of product life cycle, from ingredients to labeling and to claims? Thank you.
Pratapji, thank you for the question. Uh, like we've discussed and we've heard views from Sridharan as well, the entire compliance, regulatory compliance today is an integrated approach. It takes care of the complete life cycle management. Today we're not talking of labels in silos. We're talking about decisions that are taken at the product compliance level. Ingredients, formulations, compliances therein, what format and what quantity of ingredients to be used. The near-term impact of artificial intelligence is on actual decision making around products and the formulation that needs to be taken to market. Thereafter, there's also a convergence of claims, the entire nutrition assessment that we are putting on labels. All of this is coming from various teams, and artificial intelligence helps bring this together on one platform as a layer. Now, all of this becomes very crucial and critical from the business aspect of reaching the market faster. We've seen that the kind of food trends that we're seeing around us, companies are in a dire need of innovation. They need innovative products launching every 2 months to hit the market. And for the kind of scale that companies are coming to expect, India as a market alone is not enough. We're looking at exports in a very big way. We're looking at markets of towards the east. We're looking at the Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia belt. We're looking at markets on the west, starting with Gulf. We're looking at the European Union sector. We're looking at North America, Latin America. I mean, imagine this entire product life cycle management multiplied by the countries and their regulatory requirements. It cannot work in silos. So while labeling and claims may come across looking a very last mile requirement that I needed when I need to go to the market, but the core decisions around these compliances are taken right at the beginning of product conceptualization. And this is where the entire use of artificial intelligence becomes very relevant, because it stitches the processes together. That, to my belief, becomes a near-term, long-term approach where near-term, of course, you're using AI to facilitate the process. But in the long term, what are you building for your organization? You're building a system for your organization. You're building a system that depends less on manual effort, but is more efficient and more intelligent in preempting any kind of risks that could come to the product. Predictive analysis, forecasting of anything that could potentially fail from a labeling or a communication perspective, all of it, technology today is able to do. And as food safety leaders in our own field, food safety evangelists and stakeholders, it's important that we utilize this technology to the best of the outcomes in each of our respective organizations. That's the intent today.
Thank you, Ms. Rasida. Thanks for highlighting how AI can help to break the silos, because that really needs, we have to come out of this kind of mindset, working in a silos. So thank you very much for highlighting this. So next question goes to Mr. Prawin. Why are, again it's related to AI, so why are AI and blockchain becoming so important for traceability and food safety in the dairy and food industry? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pratap. So first, we need to think why this AI and blockchain so important nowadays. Previously, if we talk about few years ago, then all the process of the company, they are doing manually, paperwork, these kind of things. So during this process, paperwork and manual process, it's take long time to get the result of the product of the food safety point of view. And nowadays everything is going very faster going, because the customer or consumer, they don't have time to do many things. So they want result in a very quick manner. So AI now, what AI is doing, the AI doing, for example, I'm saying e-tongue. If you heard this word e-tongue, e-tongue is a process that if the beverages company or the dairy company, they are doing the organoleptic test through e-tongue process. What is this e-tongue process? It is having that what the human is doing. Human is doing like sour taste, sour, sweet, salty, these kind of things through manual process. But sometime manual can do the error. If suppose the man is having some fever or some kind of disease, and someday they give the result, some kind different result in few days later. But the process, e-tongue is doing every day consistent equal result. What will happen? The result every day any company is doing through this process, consistent is a equal uniform result they will get through this process. So what will happen? What the process will the level of the consumer, the trust level will increase through this AI process of the testing. Second example, I am saying that which I am doing in the my company also, printing process. What happening? The printing process is doing, and the packing is done by the manual human intervention. It is very fast process. When human is doing the packing in the master carton, sometime it is get ignored that the printing is sometime it is error or some digit mistake is happen, and they are putting in the master. But if it goes in the market, compliances point of view, it is very wrong. So what we have installed, AI scanning system. Through AI scanning system, if the anything found error in the digits, then it immediately pop-up will come in the system, and immediately the reporting manager or the shift in charge, they will immediately rectify that issue before it goes to the market. So these kind of things we are doing through AI system process. Again, I'm saying that blockchain. Blockchain, what is this blockchain? Everything it is synchronized in the system, digital records. If anything happen wrong, then it particularly that case or that batch will be rectified, rectify immediate basis, and it will be root cause analysis will be done with the fraction of the second or fraction of the minute. So these nowadays AI and this blockchain very helpful in the current industry. So thank you.
Okay, thank you for bringing more insight on AI and blockchain. So next question goes to Mr. Amol. How are new food innovations reshaping safety frameworks? And what will food safety look like in the next 10-15 years? So we have two questions.
Pratap,
so,
we have backdoor agreement that you will ask me a simple question, but you are not doing that.
Two questions because you are having more experience in this field.
Okay, thank you. Just kidding, but I think most of the distinguished speaker has spoken about AI and blockchain. Now, when it comes to innovation, the entire framework is getting changed. Currently, innovation is driven by preventive and reactive approach. In future, when I say future, I was actually mesmerized by the first speaker note where she's talking about entire automation of label, she's doing 90% of the job of a regulatory person, which scares me. Having said that, we are moving very fast. Innovation framework is changing from reactive preventive approach to predictive and data-driven approach, and that's the big change. AI and blockchain, we already talked about, they're actually helping and enabling to ensure that we have end-to-end digital traceability. We have real-time data analysis. We have predictive food safety assurance, which earlier we never used to have. Third thing is basically consumers are demanding. They want end-to-end from farm to fork traceability. They want clean label. They want more information about the product. I think that's where the innovation is changing. The third thing, and I don't know, in my childhood, I used to have always have a thought that I will have one small tablet which I will eat and then I don't need to eat anything in a day. That will fulfill all my requirement. And I see that's happening in future because the way things are moving so fast, you might have only one small tablet you take in a day and then you don't need to eat anything. Things are changing very, very rapidly. There are a lot of new innovation which is coming up, like plant-based food, novel foods. Every day you come up something new you see on the internet, new thing you see on the site. There are a lot of startup and young engineers, they are involving in building new culture-based meat. And earlier you used to thought that, okay, they are coming, it will take time to really get scale up, but things are really moving fast. They are really coming up. In fact, on AI, if I use AI at this moment, 2 months back, what same AI used to, the analysis what that AI used to give, after 2 months, it has changed completely. So it has become more predictable. Earlier, people used to say, oh, when you have AI, you need to do some correction. Now we are reaching to the stage that AI will act like a human, give you all emotional answer, give you all predictive analysis, and it can hallucinate also. That there is if you keep on doing the AI, end of the day you start getting hallucinating and you start thinking that what AI is telling right. The fourth and the most important piece is the culture. Although everything comes in place, culture is also going to get changed. People are becoming more and more aware about food safety. And as a quality and food safety professional, I know it is our responsibility to ensure that foods are protected. When it goes to the consumer, it is safe. And I work with a very simple philosophy of life. If my daughter, she is 12-year-old, if she can drink the product I produce with closed eye, that's where the food safety is achieved. I think that's where we need to see as a consumer. So we need to be very consumer-centric with that agility. And of course, with a lot of things coming in, we all are under pressure of agility because there is a lot of pressure from the organization to deliver innovation much faster. Of course, agility brings innovation, but at the same time, there's a thin line. So it's like agility doesn't mean compromise. It means optimize. So there's a thin line between optimize and the compromise where we as a quality and food safety professional need to play a role because that's very important. Because a lot of time people start thinking that bringing agility is a compromise and bypassing the process. Of course, agility brings innovation. Agility brings faster growth. At the end, we need to see that how we work in advance to ensure that we support the organization for the agility, but ensure that the compliance is followed. Because compliance is the critical, because that only ensure that safe food is going to the consumer. Having said that, of course, there is a lot of learning from my distinguished speaker, and I would also love to hear from a lot of all of you to understand what things going on in future. So happy to connect today again.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing more insight to AI and relating to this food safety. Thank you very much. So next question is for Mr. Tarun Kumar. How can companies use IoT for real-time food safety monitoring while ensuring data security?
Thanks. So my esteemed colleague has already given a background on this. So I will go with a simple example on IoT, right? There was a company in India who was facing issue of duplicacy in the market. How the duplicacy used to happen is a company which was making solvent or lubricants. And you know, when the lubricant is going to the store, and there were used can where people used to fill the can and supply to the mechanics. Or mechanics were using those cans. So what company did? They took the help of RFID. What is RFID? It will identify, if a can is having an RFID, it will identify where the can has moved. And then what you use? So RFID is like an IoT, right? If many cars today is having an RFID, when you pass through a toll, it will identify you are passing a toll gate, right? So you can actually, someone can identify with your RFID or cars that where all you have gone, which all tolls you have passed. So similarly with this RFID, it can be identified where the cans has gone. So it was very easy for the company to identify who are using the cans and what is their average consumption or average sales to curb or reduce the duplicacy. One example. You all are using fridge in the house. It is showing a temperature. It is having a thermostat which is setting a temperature. Just take an example of a large milk industry which is storing milk, processing milk, heating, cooling, right? And if you have a temperature sensor, someone is going and monitoring the temperature, right? But you don't have an online control, a sensor which gives you a data of temperature, right? All the milk industry is now having a sensor which is giving a data of temperature, whether you are pasteurizing or cooling, right? It becomes difficult when you are transporting, right? So in the vehicle, people are using GPS. So GPS is sending the location and you are having a temperature sensor which is telling you the temperature. And if you map it, the IoT can tell you where it is going wrong. It can send an alarm to a driver, right? I worked in a snacks industry where we are using fryer. Or in a bakery industry, when we are using an oven. When the temperature go high or low, it gives an alarm to an oven, right? But if you're not recording, or if the pattern is not been made with the data, no one can do a corrective action on it. So in the industry, IoT is a very simple thing. You can have a sensor which can give you data. You can use different AI tools. Simple tools can be used in the advanced Excel, Tableau, which can interpret the data for you. So it can help you to identify what is going wrong. So simply said, the larger word industry 4.0, automations are very complicated words. Today it can be disintegrated into simple words, word of in terms of instrumentation, generating the right data, interpreting the right data, which can be done by the IoT. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tarun, for highlighting how Internet of Things can help us detecting traceability. So thank you very much. So the last question is for Mr. Naveen Gupta. How technology is replacing or transforming traditional food safety control? Please.
So when it comes to food safety, although we all spoke about AI and future, so I would like to bring the attention to the history where our grandmothers, they used to, experience or demonstrate food safety at home. When they used to enter the kitchen, they used to take the bath before entering the kitchen. Nobody was allowed to go inside the kitchen with the shoes on. Even soiled utensils and clean utensils were kept separately. Stuff like that. And these all got scaled up into the food industry manufacturing environment and became the food safety practices, or which we name as OPRPs, PRPs. But now the technology which has come up on our way, which is only enhancing these practices. The basics remain same. We have to clean the things. We have to filter the things. We put the controls to make sure, as my colleague said, food to ensure the consumer gets the safe food. So in our operations, we recently introduced a cleaning technology called dry ice cleaning technology, which is actually using, which is fit for powders where you don't need any need to eliminate water from the system, but still cleaning is required because some stickiness is there, some dust adherence is there over the period of time. So that dry ice cleaning, it not only helps in cleaning, but it helps in sanitation. It brings the surface temperature to minus 70 degrees, and then it sanitizes as well as cleaning. And the best part is there is no water trace at the back. So it just cleaned and dry surface. So this is best for the powder manufacturing industry, and we tried it in our butter manufacturing also in our machines. That worked well. We tried in ghee filling line, it worked well. So this is one type of new technology which is dry ice cleaning technology, which can be practiced in various industries. for the food safety. Second, what I saw in terms of food safety, how technology is helping by, accelerating the response, especially when it comes to controls. Suppose we are dosing online in a continuous manufacturing line, some preservatives or some colorants. So earlier, when the manual methods were there to check those additives, it used to take time to analyze, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, or in some extents it's go up to 4 hours, for example, when it comes to protein. But now NIR technology has come up which gives you results in 10 seconds. So that has actually helped us. We have introduced that in our factory also. That has helped us to improve the consistency of the product, the food safety part of it, and the consumer experience by just accelerating the response. So my answer to this question is that although the traditional practices still remain as is, we need to follow those. Only the technology is helping us to accelerate, and new techniques have come up. They will continue to come up, and we should be adopting those to make sure that we continue producing the food safe in a more efficient and a well-organized manner.
Thank you, Mr. Naveen, for bringing more insight and explaining the importance of technology for food safety. Okay, so now we have 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 50 seconds left. So as I said, we have a distinguished audience, huge stock of food industries under one roof. So we would like to take few questions. So, yeah.
Yeah, hello, good morning all of you. So my question to the panel would be that today on the site you talked about ingredients, safety and everything. If I would like to ask about process, in all the industries you are having all the processes of manufacturing and everything, and that includes n number of, with the span of time, those processes has get upgraded. Of course, you must have different vendors and all. So my question is, what kind of process level of technology we are using today, and what are the new future expectation on part? And the next question would be, I'm talking about all the industries on an average, are we really at what is the technology level available in the industry today? Do all or most of customers are at that level, or still there are the people or the industry in the market who are still working on manual mode?
Yeah. Please.
So I will give the answer of the second question first, because it will set the baseline. See, India is in very distributed manufacturing. So India is a country, if you go Europe, right, and if you come to India and go to Nepal or Bangladesh, right, there are manufacturing footprints which are very different in scales. India, for example, I take beverage. Any beverage you take, cola, carbonated beverage, there are more than 2,000 brands. And the scale of operation is, for example, in terms of turnover or unit of sale, 200 cases per month to 20,000 cases to a giant company like Pepsi and Coke, million of cases, right? So the flexibility of business, every business is done for the profit. It is not for the social service. So when someone is doing a business on a small scale, the technology will always be towards that. It would be more manpower intensive rather than machine or process oriented. When we come to a large scale operations, it is always to be an automated and sophisticated technologies. So in automated and sophisticated, there are levels of technology in terms of processing capacity, in terms of process controls, in terms of machines. So I will tell you one motor. There are motors, 2-3 different machines can have same motor, but one motor would be having a sensor which can tell you when the motor is going to be heated, when I can do a preventive maintenance. It will automatically ramp down, ramp up speed. It will automatically go for a shutdown before giving the alarm, right? Some models of machine is having auto cleaning. You don't need to do an CIP. It will shut automatically, CIP will start automatically. There is no manpower involved, right? So the machines label are different, depends on the kind of scale you want to operate, the kind of profitability in the product. If the water, simple example, the MRP is 20 rupees, but a distributor, it goes to an 8 rupees, 9 rupees, retailer, it goes to an 12 rupees, right? For a local player to sell the same water and understand the margin the manufacturer is having in this product, the kind of opportunity for putting investment is very low. So scale depends on, or the machine depends on the scale. It is vice versa, right? Thank you.
And just to build on the ideal scenario, everything is automated, everything is AI driven, no manpower is required. And as a quality professional, we all want that because we don't want any food to go wrong. Is it possible in India? And that's a debate. We are labor extensive country. People reach out to us because there are labor which comes at a lower cost. And the debate is all around like, are the labor paid well? But we need to see that the things are changing pretty rapidly. There are live sensors which gives you data analysis much faster than earlier. Does it really reduce the labor intensive job? Yes, it is going to be. But is it going to bring opportunity? Yes, it is going to bring opportunity. In the landscape at this moment, people are moving toward automation, and whether it is a small industry or a big industry. But what I said in my earlier discussion, food safety is not about automation. Food safety is not about investing high German-based machine. It's about a culture. Now, unless and until whether we have 5 people, 2 people, or 1 people, the culture is not built, you will never achieve what you want. It can be achieved with 100 people with a labor-intensive job. It can be achieved by 5 people with machine automation. Now, as long as, because still, although AI is moving much faster, still there's a human intervention is required when it comes to process, when it comes to analyzing the data, and that human intervention makes a lot of difference. A one man operating the entire plant still need to have that food safety mindset to ensure that the product is safe. And that's where we really need to think in that direction. Having said that, things are changing rapidly. You will find a lot of automation coming in. You will find the work is getting reduced with AI. But it's again 1990 situation when computer came, people thought that they will lose their job. It's the same situation we are in now, where AI has become dominant. Either we go along with it, or you stay behind it.
I don't want to add much of points, but I just a request, since it's about the food safety, can we have a couple of more questions?
Yeah.
We know the time is up, but
can we
just want to take up some more
I have to ask the organizer if you can have 10 minutes more. So here we are discussing technology, automation, AI, blockchain, food safety. So I think we deserve 10 minutes more. Yeah.
Thanks, moderator.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I belong to AFP Manufacturing Company Private Limited. I'm Ekta Garwal as a director marketing. We have a brand name as Manchon, and we are currently operating in eastern parts of India, like UP, Bihar, and we have a plant in Hajipur, Bihar. And the best part is we are making kurkure for PepsiCo. And we have a huge plant for them, and we are making kurkure for them. The main part is, I want to ask one thing from the part of AI. Is it really necessary that, I think somehow I realized that to make the process understand like how AI works to the labor category. I think there is some difficulty in understanding what is that. How to, my main question is how to sort it out.
Can I? The question is not, do we really need AI or not, right? Okay, so just go back in 2020, okay? Before COVID hit, the UPI transactions, whatever was happening. And now you see people are hardly carry their purses, right? So everyone is using mobile. What made that to happen? That too, like a country in India, which is having so many uneducated population also still, what made that happen? The crisis, along with the right kind of technology, made sure that it reached to the last kind of a person, right? So now the question is not about, do we really need AI at this point in time, being in India, so much of population, there are so many people are there to inspect and all that. The actual question is like, with these kind of a conditions, like how do I use this technology to take it to the next level, okay? Having said that, even now, India being a developing country, even now, we do have a lot of issues in terms of the loss of productivity due to food safety. Okay, next to China, we are in the second position in terms of huge loss, which is roughly about 0.3% of our GDP. When it says 0.3%, it looks small, but it's a huge amount, right? So now, there are a lot of technologies are coming together. Okay, the panel members talked about the biosensors, predictive analysis, AI, blockchain, and all that. We need to really start looking at like how do we make this technology is usable at India kind of a country with a very, very cheaper but efficient manner. That should be our question, right? If we approach the entire problem in that lens, we can still do wonders. Like how many of us are really thought of taking our own ECG with smart rings and smart watches, right? It's now possible. Like your smart rings and smart watches are giving your ECG report in a real-time basis. We would not have even thought of it some years back. And it is available in, say, like in few $1,000s. If a consumer market is getting created in that way, being in industries, why can't we think those kind of a thing to happen in our industry processes? That's the way we should look at it. I hope I answered.
Okay, thank you. I think we have to stop the panel discussion because we don't have time. Okay, thank you very much, all the panelists, for bringing technology, automation, Internet of Things, AI, food safety, and correlating all those things into food safety. So what I call as a point-to-point navigation. So it's a real pleasure having all of you. Nice discussion. So looking forward for more interaction during the day. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Requesting the panelists and moderator to please stay back with us on the stage. And may I request Yashna Garg, Chief Marketing Officer from Zion Life Sciences Limited, to kindly felicitate our panelists and moderator. Requesting you, ma'am, to please felicitate Mr. Prawin Arohi, GM, Manufacturing, DS Group. Thank you very much for sharing your insights with us for such a meaningful conversation, panel discussion that we just had. Can we have a big round of applause, everyone? Thank you. Requesting you, ma'am, to please felicitate Mr. Sanjay Kumar, GM Factory Operations, Mrs. Baxter's Food Specialities. Please stay with us on the stage. We'll have a group picture. Sir, kindly stay back. We'll have a group picture. Thank you. Mr. Naveen Gupta, Head Factory, Zydus Wellness. Thank you, sir. Mr. Kumar Tarun, Director Quality R&D and Regulatory, Bisleri International. Thank you, sir. Requesting Sridharan Devendriya, Director Manufacturing Operations and Capabilities, Coca-Cola, India. Mr. Amol P. Peshatiwar, AVP QRC, India and APAC, the Hershey Company. May I now request Dr. Rashida Vapiwala, Founder, Label Blind. Big round of applause, everyone. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to felicitate our moderator, Mr. Pratap Swain, Global Head, R&D, Barley Biscuits. Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's have a group picture, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, this panel really deserves a great round of applause from all of you all.